Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video and I'm back already. And by the way, just a wee warning, apologies for the rest of this week. It's going to be a nightmare. You're going to be seeing this dish a lot. We have previews, we have league predictions, we have hopefully at least one announcement, and we've got a wee delicious Rangers roundup as well. It's going to be a packed couple days, ladies and gentlemen, but as we are here to round up the Rangers news, I guess we better get into it. Now, I'm going to be honest, and I know I'm overly excited right now, but at my current time of recording, we are less than 30 away from 70,000 subscribers. It's absolutely crazy. Troops, the support again's been unreal, and I know I have been saying this quite a lot recently, but again, if you could help the channel out by hitting that like button, hitting that hype button, or subscribing to the channel, that would be absolutely incredible. But I know that's on me to go and earn all of those things, and I think the best way to structure this roundup is talk about the hunters and hunters and hunters of players that's leaving this football club, and then get to the captain conversation now that the captain's been revealed. But what does that mean for our team? What does that change in terms of the transfer market for ins and out? It's going to be an interesting conversation, I think, or at least I certainly hope so. But let's go ahead and get into part one of today's video, and that means we talk about Oliver Antman. And I know it's weird to talk about Oliver Antman right here on this channel because he has been such an afterthought for so many people. He's rarely actually played. Most of the conversations like, how did he get injured? He's not even playing. Or where is Oliver Antman? But we're actually here to talk about the player, the day, and possibly for the last time until at least the end of the transfer window roundup, as Oliver Antman is expected to go ahead and sign for Anderlecht very, very shortly. Now, this was at the rumour stage for a wee while, but Derek McInnes, in his most recent presser for this football club, has confirmed that he is travelling away to have a medical and speak to Anderlecht. So, it looks pretty good. Now again, it's never official until he holds that scarf up, and hopefully he is able to get through that medical and go ahead and prove what he's got to warrant that type of move, because not only is it a tremendous opportunity for him, I think Anderlecht's a great club for him. Arguably, style-wise, it will suit him better than it ever suited when he came up the road to Rangers. And also, from the selfish point of view, being a Rangers fan right here, the fact that he is moving on and the fact we could be potentially making a profit on this laddie is absolutely sensational business, because again, that's not the norm right here all the frickin' times. How many times, in fact, it's already happened this summer, that we can't get rid a player, so it's a loan and a loan, wages drain, loan, wages drain, till we get to what, a year left on the contract or near the end, and we just try and push him out the door for pennies, praying someday takes them off their books. You know what I mean? It's been like that, and we've made that mistake so many times. So it is quite refreshing that despite signing a player a year ago and it no working out, us getting some good money for him, as this might be one of those rare occasions where I think it's best for all parties involved. And honestly, I wish him well. Now, I know there will be a couple people saying, wait a minute, CJ, we have spent a lot of the last week moaning about the winging position, moaning that we've not got enough wingers. Now we're sitting here trying to be happy and celebrating the fact that one of the wingers in a depleted position at our club is leaving, or potentially leaving, this football club. How does that make sense? And it is a very, very fair point, ladies and gentlemen, but at the exact same time, I think it was being pretty damn clear that Oliver Antman wasn't a part of the plans, whether he was sitting on these jacks on the bench come Friday night or no. There's always that point where a player, when you concede that it's done and dusted at a football club, and it can happen in many, many ways. But I think on Sunday, every single one of us that went to that game or watched that game, wherever you were in the world, when you saw him come out in the second half and be like, oh, Antman's he's playing it right wing back. That was it. That was the moment. The writing was on the wall. As ironically, a year ago, almost to the day, Oscar Cortez got the exact same treatment from then manager Russell Martin. The second you're not even getting an opportunity to prove your worth, show what you've got in your preferred position when it comes to friendlies, it's done. But again, he's not getting kicked out the back door or loaned out to here and hoping and praying. He's gone ahead and joined Anderlecht here, ladies and gentlemen, which again is a brilliant move, and I think he is a good player. It just never quite worked out here. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes there and does well, starts getting some pretty assist totals, we start getting tagged in some of his stuff. In fact, I hope that is the case for the laddie. So good luck to the Avenger and Rangers Football Club. How about we spend some of that money on an actual marquee signing. You know what I mean? Let's get some bums off seats here now, Rangers. Have a glance around. Money's getting spent. Let's dip in and pull the trigger. Get somebody in here. That would be very, very lovely. And there's a genuine argument to be made that if that does end up happening and it does go down that road, you could make an argument that Antman's best contribution at Rangers Football Club was to open the door for another winger to come in. That would be lovely. Moving on to story number 2, that's not only with another player that's heavily rumoured to be leaving this football club very, very soon, but a lot of people has been asking questions and want to know my opinion on it, because the player that is linked with an exit just signed a contract extension a couple of months ago to keep him at the club. Now he's apparently leaving. I've seen a lot of conversations and a lot of this topic coming up, so I'm just going to address it right here. So part 2 of today's video will be about the man, the myth, the Berry Soap John frickin' Souttar. And to say I've been through the ringer with this guy is a genuine understatement, as I truly believe at least 16 and a half grey hairs that's on this noggin right now is due to the laddie, and I honestly think I'm maybe being generous by just saying that many. But again, if you're looking at this potential exit with the previous one in story 1, you might be sitting there thinking, what's the 2 weakest part of our team right now? It's defensively and on the wing. So why are they positions leaving? Why have we still got 458 centre midfielders on the books? This doesn't feel right to me, and where I get where people are coming from there, I've got to be honest, I'm not really worried at all in this situation. Yes, we're depleting an already depleted part of our squad, but they 2 players weren't going to be a part of the team going forward. I think it was pretty damn clear, and we all know dominoes have been needing to fall. You know what I mean? I know it's such a boring cliche answer, but we know some people need to leave this football club so we can keep spending to bring others in, and you're starting to see people leave the building. You know what I mean? The likes of Danny left last week. Ross McCausland's apparently linked with an exit. Then you've got Antman. Now you've got Souttar linked with exits, and I truly believe in the next 10 days we will see at least 2, maybe even 3 centre midfielders leave this football club, whether it be on the permanent sales side or even some loans. As for a lack of a better term, we need to get rid of the dead wood. And where there is a lot of people that believe in John Soapy Souttar and love the guy and believe he should be in and amongst it, I consider him a part of the group that needs to move on as well. Look, I've always appreciated how he's went about his business. There's never been a single part of me, despite my frustrations and despite the criticism, I've never once doubted his application in a game or how hard he's tried. He's gave absolutely everything, but he's never kicked on, and he's never ended up being what we needed him to be. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. He was supposed to be the successor to Connor Goldson that no matter what anybody wants to say was consistently available and a massive part of our defence that eventually went on to win a league title. He was the leader. He was the guy back there, and Soapy was seen as that long-term successor. Never ever worked out. Not only did John obviously not be as consistent in terms of his reliability, but his consistency on the park was just the same. Maybe the same as the latter end of Goldson when we wanted him to be early Connor Goldson, and I think that's where he is. You know what I mean? I never once called him a CB1. I always said he was a good CB3, and that guy on the old depth chart that jumps in for a game, or if you're needing to batter down the hatches, or if you're going to a tricky away day, you chuck John in there to throw his head at everything. But again, we can't build our team around these types of guys, and I think over the last several years, especially the last 18 months, which has become quite clear, is the Rangers cannot rely on John to take them to where they want to go. So am I surprised that despite him being given a contract extension, we're possibly moving on John? Nah, ladies and gentlemen. People will say, why did we do that then? Why did we not just let him leave? Well, if it ends up playing out that's again rumoured to be, Rangers might end up getting a wee bit of money for John, where he'd have obviously left for free at the end of last season. So is it 4D chess for the club, or did they buy into a couple good games for John before realising, oh wow, and the drop off at the end of last season and how he was replaced by Giga, who was barely just consistent, just solid, and you've seen the difference of just a solid centre back and what John's erraticness actually brings to this football club. Maybe that was the indication that, okay, I see, we do need to go a different direction, and that leads us to where we are. Just never worked out. But again, we'll get into more of how many games he played, what he done, etc, etc. At the end of the transfer window roundup, that's when we really get into the nitty gritty. But that's where we are right now. There's options for him. It's up to him if he wants to go, but it's quite clear that Rangers are gone in a different direction. So aye, a guy that wore the captain's armband for all last year is meant to be gone. But thankfully, the next guy wearing the armband hopefully won't be for a while. Now, of course, this isn't going to be breaking news or that, as it's been out for several hours now, and pretty much everybody I know at least has shared this and wished the laddie all the best. But Rangers have announced that Lawerence Shankland is officially the new club captain, and the first new club captain for nearly 10 years at this football club, which is scary, troops. That's the last of the Tav era pretty much done and dusted. Now that Shankland has come in and wore that armband, it truly does feel like a new era now, and that, I guess, is a conversation point, because it wasn't a guarantee that it was going to be Shanks. You know what I mean? Some people wanted Dan Neil. Dan Neil started taking corners at Ibrox. Then we realised maybe no. Some people wanted Big Douche to have it. Some was even shouting the likes of Godfrey and Manny Fernandez. I seen a wee bit of that, and another popular pick was the returning, or the possibly returning, Raskin up the road getting that armband. But Derek has picked his man, and picked a man he knows inside and out, and that is none other than Lawerence Shankland. And again, I'm absolutely buzzing with that one. I did say a couple videos ago, or a week or two ago, I can't remember when, it would be the way I'd go. I'd like it to be Shanks. Not only has he been fighting his entire career to be here, so he's no going to take it for granted. He's no using us as a stepping stone. This is everything to him, just to wear the frickin' jersey. So the fact that he gets to pull on the armband, do you think for a second that laddie's going to let anybody strut about Ibrox, turning up late to training, or no putting the hard yards in at the training part? Nah, troops, he will drive that standards, as he knows that spotlight's now on him, and he will be judged at the same level that Tavernier was judged. And I'm excited by that, ladies and gentlemen, because again, when we were all looking at the interviews last year and being so impressed at what Hearts were doing and how Derek McInnes was talking, he was continually screaming at the top of his lungs that Shankland does so much. He's his guy. He gets the team ready. He helps the new signings get settled in and know what the club's about. And that being the focal point now of this new era at this football club, I'm excited by. Now, of course, time will tell if he's going to be a success, but again, all we've seen is this guy be a success everywhere he's been and fight tooth and nail for everything he's got. He's never been handed none, never walked into a position and been given everything. He has fought all the way and improved as a player year in and year out, and I like that type of mentality. Again, hopefully that bleeds in to the rest of the squad and whoever else we bring in. That's the standard bearer. There's your captain. Be like your skipper. But where this is brilliant news, and I'm delighted for Shanks, as you can clearly see, I also do like the fact that it's not just him, troops. You know what I mean? We've not just got one or two leaders in the dressing room. And it does take me to an interview that Dan Neil, I know he's a bit controversial right now, but he said whether or not he was given the armband, it doesn't matter, because there's a team, there's an actual full team guys that's led teams and been captains elsewhere and been that, and that type of responsibility, and everybody taking accountability, not just looking to the skipper and be like, oh, I hope Tavernier bails us out here, I'll just kick it to Tavernier, or I'm no bullet, Tavernier's going to get all the blame. There's a dressing room of guys that are at there fighting tooth and nail for each and every single one of them. So it all sounds really good. All I can hope is it translates to being very, very good. But as we move in the chair, we edge closer to the end of the old video, because again, you're going to be seeing so much about it. But that was the Rangers roundup today. Oliver Antman looks very, very close. Souttar isn't as close, but does have some options to leave. The dominoes are starting to fall. Hopefully get somebody announced very, very shortly, probably with my luck by the time I finish recording this video, and get another one in now and keep moving out the deadwood, bringing in fresh life and seeing what this combative, commanding, standard-setting dressing room can actually implement. That would be absolutely fantastic. But that's it for this week's Rangers Roundup. What's your thoughts and opinions on the news? Do you want Antman to stay? Do you think it is? If he does move, who do you want the money to be spent on? That would be interesting. And where do you sit with John Soapy Souttar? I've been asked quite a lot in the last couple of days. Should he be brought in? Should he be kept as a backup? I think if we can get money for John, we take that all damn day. A complete cleanse. Let's just freshen the place up now. No guys with baggage and carrying that in time. Again, new standard, new foundation. Build for that. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing, as long as we keep bringing in some quality. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I've been CJ over 92. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in 5 minutes. But until next time, take care of yourselves. All the best, and bye-bye.